T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
Shake it back! Does that feel good? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 3000 of the Shake and Bake Show with Stevie Fast, Jackson, Courtney, and Lyle.
Oh, we don't get our normal intro, huh?
Courtney Enders, Courtney Purple Teeth, Canadian Moose Loving.
There we go.
Enders, and Lyle, my hero, smoked his eyebrows off with a potato gun, Barnett.
There we go. Now it's better.
That one's new. It's been a while since I've shot a potato gun. Might need to break that thing back out.
Yeah,
Are you sure you have enough? Are you sure you have enough lives left there, Kat, to be doing shit like that?
You know, Courtney, I've decided that I've tested it, and if I'm gonna go out, potato gun explosion right to the carotid.
So be it.
So be it.
I've said this before, y'all, that I wish people could see what goes on right before the show.
Oh, you mean the absolute shit show that was going on right before Molly just threw us into the fire?
Today was top tier shit show. We all logged in about 4 seconds before this show happens. I'm eating lunch, changing clothes. Lyle's getting his shit done. Stevie's driving down the road. We did this for y'all tonight. This worked out. Tuesday night was not good for any of us tonight, but we did it for you, Shake and Bakers.
Nope.
Yeah, so I was going down the racetrack about 15 seconds before the show. So I'm going to be driving, so I apologize in advance for any service interruptions that I have. But it was either me be on my phone on the road or miss the show for 2 weeks. So we've had a lot of crap happen in the NHRA world and the drag racing world. And a lot to talk about tonight. It's going to be good.
Faux show.
I am back in Texas. I'm back in my house. It's hot. I just went for a run. It's so nice. There's no snow on the ground. Yee freaking hot.
Yeehaw.
How long are you
it's
in?
Beautiful. Yeah, you're in
How long
Texas
are you in
for like
Texas
6
for?
hours.
3 days.
3 days.
3 days and off to California, then to PDRA.
Oh, what?
Oh, yeah. I get to see your dumbass there.
Make my Pro Boost debut.
Oh, this is good. Now we can talk shit about Stevie's internet. This will be great. So
Whoa, dude. You got pants on?
yeah, what do you got going on down there?
Thought I saw a little flash of nothing on down there, bud. You doing some weird stuff down there?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
No, I got it. I was
All
trying
right.
to get
I mean,
it
I'm
already.
just saying.
I try not to drive down the road bottomless.
Well, I mean, everybody has their stuff. So, since Stevie's driving down the road, we'll kind of try and make this easier for you, Stevie. So last time, I'm going to put my Stevie hat on. Last time we hung out with you guys, we had the Gatornationals completed for the NHRA. We talked about Lights Out. We talked about World Series of Pro Mod. But Pro Mod had not completed at Gatornationals yet. So we're going to have a doubleheader of Pro Mod tonight. I bet your bottom dollar, if you're a guessing man, you know who our guest is tonight, because there's been one Pro Mod guy to talk about the last 2 weeks, and we've got him.
Jesus.
Good Lord. So we'll have him. We're going to talk about PDRA. We're going to talk about some cool, speaking of fire, we're going to talk about Ron Capps explosion, all the things that happened at Arizona Nationals, preview some things that are coming up 2 weeks to come. But, Molly, are we good? Do we have highs and lows? Are we going into highs and lows? Should we play the little video?
I sent none of those, but I'll come up with something.
I did, because Molly and I have a good system.
You never do high spots. I don't want to hear that.
Oh, all right.
I think I have it back before.
Didn't make it. Good thing you have pants on.
Yeah, it is good. And it's a good thing I have black ones on, because I almost put on some like blue flowery ones, but I figured you'd make fun of me, so I didn't.
110%. I'm in that kind of mood. You give me something to pick on you about tonight, I am
Well, here you go.
I mean, that's
gosh. Whoa.
doesn't really surprise me.
What is that?
Knock, knocking on
The house shoes.
44.
Shut up, Lyle. I am though. I truly am. Anyways, highs and
I know.
lows, even though you don't have any assets for it, Lyle. What you got?
No, I don't want to go first.
Okay, fine. I'll go first. My high
I got to think.
of the week was I have 2 highs and 1 low. I actually have a low this week. One high of the week was we did a gender reveal, which I think are super gay. Never been a fan of gender reveals in my life. I think it's dumb. You keep that to yourself, whatever. We did a very public, very awesome gender reveal for Chase and Jenna. And we have some awesome pictures and a really cool video. Hold on, let me go to that private chat. Oh, yes. Good call, Molly. No audio on these videos so that we don't get hit. But big thanks to the NHRA team. They really played it up for us. But let's, Molly, I guess this is how he does it. Let's play the video of the gender reveal.
I love it.
All right. Here we go. Erica was very, very concerned about shaking because we've not been doing very well. Is it a boy? Is it a girl? It's a girl. And Jenna, they didn't really show Jenna, which I was kind of bummed about, but I have some photos. Jenna had said she didn't want to do a public gender reveal because if it was a boy, she was going to have to pretend to be excited. So there she is, super, super excited. Chase is going, oh shit, every dollar I ever make is about to go away. Shit. That's an awesome shot right there. But it was really cool. Everybody was really into it. It was a big deal. Like none of us knew. Travis got the parachutes from Stroud. He put them on himself. He's the only one that got the envelope. He talked to the baker. We did a cake and everything. And every single person except Travis was completely surprised. So to pull something off like that was really, really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And then
congratulations, Chase, I guess.
Yeah, watching the amount of people that were crying on the starting line was pretty crazy. Like there was a lot of people choked up about that deal.
I couldn't believe, like, same, I'm videoing it. And I could see myself shaking. And then I had tears rolling down my face. I don't know what this emotion is. It was really weird, but it was really, really cool. I think it was just the whole element of the surprise and like everybody figuring it out at that very, very moment. And also being so thankful that we don't have to have another male Freeman. There's plenty. We needed a girl Freeman.
Talk about Erica being nervous. I've done my fair share of those in the shoots, and you are very nervous on the starting line. Like this is like one time in these people's lives that you get to do that, and you're like, and I mean, I had always made my mind up if it shakes, I'm gonna pedal that bitch and run it down through there.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she said. She's like, I mean, do I still pull them anyway? And I'm thinking this will be the one time where we go and do a burnout and it just like trips it in the burnout and they just go.
Out. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah. So she was pretty nervous about that. But then my other high was I got to debut with Tony Pedregon and Brian Loans this weekend on the Brian Loans Insider podcast. Got to do a couple social hits for NHRA, so it was really cool to sit on the Fox chairs and microphones, intimidate the crap out of me, and I got to sit on one and use one, and that was pretty cool. So it went pretty well, and there it is right there. And we're doing that every week now. So had a little tryout, and I'm gonna
must be running low on talent around there.
Totally, completely running low on talent. So
anyway, those
are my highs. Somebody else is next.
So my highs I have 2 of them. Number 1 is Sydney qualifying in the top half of the field in Phoenix. We made some good runs, made some good strides. I'm happy that we got to run all the qualifying rounds that we were supposed to. And then my other high is I really like doing Pro Mod School on Friday morning. It was pretty cool to get to talk to a bunch of fans and to share like a perspective. You know, we all live, somebody told me last week, you do not live an ordinary life. And, you know, we get lost in what we do and kind of forget that, and getting to talk to the fans and teach them a little bit about the kind of hot rods that I love to race was definitely a high. I
like that they're doing that. NHRA is Deb's done a really good job of breaking down doors over there and getting you guys to be able to do those things and educate the fans on why they should follow it. And I agree. I think that's a really cool deal. And nobody better than you to talk about that shit.
And NHRA, like it was a tough deal, them canceling Q2 on Friday night. There was a lot of people upset, me included. Like I was hot mad. But they did true to their word. They came by and talked to everybody, explained what happened, gave us our 3 shots on Saturday, as they said they would. And Deb and the Finish Line team is doing a great job of bridging that gap with NHRA. So it's good.
All right, Lyle, you're up, buddy.
Neat.
You're up.
I have a couple. The first one is, and it's kind of a self-patter, but is just where MacFab is the start to this year. We're having the best start to the year that the company has ever had. We're in a position now, and I mean, I'm not mad about it. Some of you may be, but these wheel manufacturers are just flat, with the exception of one, are just flat not able to get product to the consumer. And we are in a position, the way that we do things, that when you call us to order a wheel, it is not yet built. So I take the parts and pieces and build the wheel, whereas opposed to when you call, and this I'm just using for an example, Weld or Billet Specialties or whoever, like if the wheel's not built, you're not getting it. And you're not getting it until they build it. And it could be 4 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, it could be 8. And that's just not the way we do it. And it seems to work really well. I would have to go look how many new wheel orders I had today. I flat don't have enough people to build them. So me and Kevin, that's what I was doing before when I ran here, was just building wheels.
5 minutes before we went live.
Yeah. But you know, my guys are working really hard. I've got a good group, and we're pumping them out right now. I had 34 dropped off on Monday. And I'm swimming in them, and I come home stressed and tired. But you know, there's a lot of people that are not, their businesses maybe not doing as well or whatever, and I should be thankful. So I am, and thank you to all of you who are customers, have been, and will be in the future, because we can supply you with a wheel if you need one way or another. I'll make it happen. But second high is that I get to go back racing this week at Rockingham at home. I'm from where I sit, I'm 45 minutes from the starting line. And I'm excited to race at home. I don't get to do that much anymore. Stevie's the same way. Not very often that he gets to go to Carolina. Not very often that I get to go to Rockingham or Piedmont, you know, which are the 2 closest tracks to me, both about 45 minutes. And I'm excited to do that. I got the call today from the Grand Poobah, Steve Petty, and I get to make some more rips in Ken Cartuccio's car tomorrow afternoon's RVW car. And Steve said on the phone today, he said, yeah, we'll see if we can get you another 50 under your belt. And I said, fuck a 50. Like, that's over with. You know, like, I want to go 49.
God.
You know, don't want to drive Ken Cartuccio's car.
Yeah, it is such a badass hot rod. And then, obviously, I'll be back in salvage title for Tommy Humans in Pro 275, and then the old Dick Weld, as we call it, the red chrome Camaro for Rob Kohler. So excited to race at home. We've had a pretty shaky start to the year in Pro 275, and really got to make up some ground here if we're going to stay relevant in the points. So a big weekend coming up for us, and then we turn right around. In fact, the Pro Mod is in the trailer at Rockingham. We turn around and go straight to Galat for race 1 of the Pro Boost Series, PDRA Series at Galat next week. So 2 weeks of racing coming up, and all within an hour of my house. So it's good. My family will come. My friends will be there. It's going to be a big 2 weekends in a row for us.
Those of you who don't travel and like do this for a living, even if you travel and do something else, I don't think you can say enough how much easier and just more smooth a race weekend is. Even if you don't sleep in your own bed and you're still in your own town, of not having to get on an airplane, go somewhere foreign and do it. Like, it takes 60% of the hassle and stress away from it, honestly. And that's pretty cool. I'm very jealous because I get to fly back to California on Thursday. So
and then you throw in an almost, God bless, an almost 3-year-old.
Holy shit, are you kidding?
June. Yeah, it'll be 3. You know, you throw that in there, and logistically it's really rough, especially on Melissa. Like, Jesus, man. Most of the time I have to get the racetrack 2 to 3, 4 days, a couple weeks if we race back to back before her, and she's stuck flying with him. And like it's a big deal. So us being able to come home every night, like it is very nice to be able to do that.
All right, Lyle, I'm going to ask you a question before we get on to Lowe's.
Okay.
Like, you're a few years into MacFab, like really doing it.
Yeah.
Is it what you thought it was going to be when you started?
Hell no. You know, I mean, when we first started, it was enough to make a decent living, right? You know, Melissa and I have a really nice place here that we bought from my grandparents and am able to afford to do that. But, you know, like big picture now, you're looking at potentially growing, and it is a very successful business. Like we did really well last year. We're on track to do even better this year. But like I see now that there is potential here for it to be really big and do really big things if we just stay the course. Now, my dad started a civil engineering firm in 1998 or 9 in the bonus room in the upstairs of the house I grew up in, which is 1 mile through the woods right here. And it was nationwide, well, worldwide, if you count all the stuff he did overseas, and had 60 plus employees and did really well, and then sold, and we got MacFab. So the business sense is there, and I'm just trying to learn that. Like Dad sold his business and really wasn't planning on working this hard. But right now we're so busy that we can't do it without all of us. But no, not at all. You know, we've done a lot.
Is like, I wish some of the folks at home could understand what it takes to do it. Like, I left Phoenix. I've been on the road for 8 straight weeks. I left Phoenix when we were done Sunday, flew the rocket all the way through the night, landed home at 4 a.m., and then was on the hub dyno at 8 a.m. on Monday morning. Like, it's a lot. And it's the same thing. Eric Dillard told me about 5 years ago when we really got serious with KTR. He told me, be careful what you ask for, because when you get it, you're not going to know what to do with it. And that's fact.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and a lot of the people on here may work for a big company or whatever, and like 5 o'clock, time clock, don't worry about it the rest of the day. And it's even hard for Melissa to understand a little bit, right? Like she's a nurse practitioner and works at a family practice here in Pinehurst, and you know, and while her work still comes home with her, like when she leaves the practice, right? Like there's no more patients to see. But this is my work phone, right? Like when you call the 844 number at MacFab, it rings my cell phone. So, and it never, you know, and people on the West Coast, right? Like we close at 5. Well, people on the West Coast, it's 2 o'clock, right? So they're just, and it's not, I'm not complaining, you know, they're calling thinking it's towards the end of the day. And then, you know, you throw in, I take care of 100% of the social media. So, and that never ends, right? You know, and now Dad and Kevin help me answer some messages because there's hundreds a day, but, and you know, it literally never ends. You know, like I come home, I'm on my phone. I'm on my phone all day. You know, like I have a built-in battery pack in my case so that I can keep my phone alive during the day. So, and that part of it is what I was not prepared for. You know, like I've always worked, when I worked for Justin Elks at Modern, when I hit the time clock, it was over for the day. When I worked for Pete Harrell at Harrell Engine and Dyno, when I hit the time clock, it was over for the day, you know. And this is the first time that I've quote unquote worked for myself, and like I was not ready for this.
I think there's something else to be said too for us three and other people, but us three are a unique little group here because all of us do it. But the goal is to work in what you love, right? You want to, oh God, if I could just full-time work in racing. I used to have a full-time job, would get on the red eye out, go to the racetrack. Working at the racetrack was kind of like, oh, it's not work because it's racing. Well, once you throw all of that and consume your full-time job into also racing, like Lyle, even when you go to race for fun or put on your driver hat, like that doesn't stop, and your passion for the sport doesn't stop. Therefore, what you do for the sport, which is your job, doesn't stop. And I listened to a podcast while I was running today about like having to have a mental transition, especially when you work in what you're passionate about, because otherwise you're literally just going to spin your wheels and burn yourself out and do all that. We didn't mean for this to be like a motivational podcast today, but gosh dang, working is hard.
Damn it. You know, and Stevie, I don't know about KTR, but like for MacFab, at least it is how we do business. And I look in my phone every single day at our Shopify app, which tracks our income and whatnot. And I compare it to last year and look and see, are we up, are we down? Why? I'll go back in social media posts to figure out what I did that week a year ago that made us, because if I can stop posting on social media for, I don't know, 2 or 3 days in a row, and a week later the phone will stop ringing. And I'm not kidding. Like, if we get slow, I can really ramp up what I spend through Facebook marketing and whatnot, and I can pick it right back up. If we get really busy and we like are freaking out about how we're going to get it done, I'll just slow the social media down. Boop, it'll come right back in. Like, it's so crazy how that stuff works. And like, I'm still learning that, and the algorithm changes all the time. I'm constantly on the phone with Meta, trying to figure out. Hey, Nasty. Well, you're naked, buddy. So you
boy.
Night night, buddy.
I love you. Blow him kiss.
I love you. Hey, peace out, dude. Sleep good. Okay, you got it. Cool. But I forget where I was at.
Exhibit A, right there.
Yep, there it went. There it went. But anyway, it's so wild to see how that works, and like it's 100. I now realize it's how your business does 100% depends on, at least, and that's for everybody, what you put in, right? Like, you can put in nothing and you should expect absolutely nothing. The days of just letting it go on its own, if that was ever a thing, I know it isn't now. And it has been a tough hurdle for me to learn, because growing up, like I was literally like the poster child for daddy's money. Like, if I wanted it, I got it. I had badass race cars. I had racing 4-wheelers and drove a really nice brand new truck my senior year in high school, like all the things. And then when I became well, I'm still not grown, but when I
you'll never be grown.
Yeah, fuck that. And I had to learn like how to keep the lights on in this motherfucker. Like, it's a different ball game. I guess we can be done doing that.
And then you add a podcast on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-oh.
I think he said, do you have any lows? My low is Elite Motorsports performance and Pro Stock. It's not been fun the last few weeks. I know I have nothing to do with performance on track. There's a lot of other shit going on, but Eric hasn't won a race in over a calendar year, and KB's running up our ass right now, and that part's not fun. That's my low.
Yeah, it's tough.
Oh.
But
Tough.
it always goes like this.
I talked to Erica the other day, and she had made like, I don't know, a bazillion runs in testing or something that day. And like, you can just tell that, and it wears on all of us when we don't feel like, when we're used to winning, you go through a season in racing, which happens, and you're not winning, it's tough. It's tough.
We have literally, her and I, like, if y'all know Erica, we've been vulnerable about her enough on this show. Like, this is not what she does, it's who she is. And I ride back on the car with her. People think it's for attention. I ride back on the car with her because that's our only time to be alone during the day, and we talk. And she literally said, I'm not having fun. And like, it's not because we suck. Like, because even when she won a race, like, whatever. And I kind of had to come to Jesus with her about, you got guys like Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers right now in his career. When you've achieved the things you've set out to achieve, but you still don't feel like you're done yet, you got to figure out some new motivation of a new why or a new carrot to chase or whatnot. And that's something that people may take for granted and not think of, like, oh, she's won all the races in the world, she's going to be in the Hall of Fame, yada, yada. She still has to have something to push for to mentally continue to be that way. And so that's where we're at there.
It's the pursuit of a win, man. Like, I drag race because I love it. I drag race because I love the fans. It's all I've ever known. It's literally part of who I am. But at the very root of it, it is just 100% the pursuit of a win. Like, and there is absolutely nothing better. And like Stevie said, when you go through a slump, and like, I haven't won a race this calendar year. I won the Snowbirds in Pro 275, but like, it's tough, man. Like, it drives me to want to go and work harder and win, but it is there. I've been there. There's times when it is just flat not fun. to even do it.
Yeah,
you know?
you've got to unlock a different part. I kept telling her, I don't sound gay, but like your why is allowed to change through your career. And her first why was different than her second championship, third, fourth. One was proving, one was this, one was that. And so we just got to find, and that's not to say like she's never going to win another race. We're not saying that she's on her way out or whatnot, but this goes to show for everyone. Somebody just said something about John Force in the podcast or in the comments, and even like, you know, guys who've been doing this a million years, Greg Anderson, like how many more times can you freaking win? Like there's mental stuff that I think people don't understand as like part of the journey onto those wins. And then Lyle, correct me if I'm wrong, no matter how long your slump is, one race win, you're rejuvenated right
this
back
is why I do
the
it.
drug is back.
This is why I do it. Yep. 100%.
Stevie, you've been there, broke neck Jackson.
Good run will cure cancer. Like our Q1 run, we didn't go down the racetrack. Q2, it doesn't go down the racetrack in Phoenix. And I mean, like, you know, the pressure's starting to get to you. Like, you're like, okay, like, I am a professional. We do this for a living. We have the best parts and pieces and what I believe to be the smartest people. We just aborted 2 runs. And then Q3, the thing goes out and goes third low of the round and runs 574, 251. And everybody's jumping around like the last 2 weeks have been glorious. I mean, you know, it's the problem with our sport is like people like Erica, people like Lyle, people like me, people that are good at it. We always keep moving the goalpost. So it's not that we can't score the touchdown anymore. It's that we move the goalpost somewhere else where we can't get to it. And like, then you try to find a way to get to it. Well, the longer you race, the harder that gets to find that thing. Like, I'm always complaining because I never have a day off, right? But I want to race cars for a living. Part of the thing about racing cars for a living is you don't get days off. So it's pretty cool. I'm very blessed.
I had a really dominating like 2 to 3 years with beer money. I literally won 75
every time you went.
75 or 80% of the races we ran or something just ridiculous. And then life got busy. I started NHRA stuff and had a kid and got married, and like life happens. And like I call beer money extracurricular drag racing. Like that's what I do when I just want to take my grassroots dudes. And I'm not saying that because they're not capable. Like the guys that I've been racing with for years, we load up in a pickup truck. We stop and get fast food. We fill the one cooler we've got full of drinks. We set up a 10 by 20 pop-up and we just go have fun and race. And I took beer money to the chassis shop to Customs by Biggin last week or the week before. And I was like, listen, fix the stuff that I've broken, put the new rear end stuff in it. Cause I've got to get that thing back out. And like, I need a little bit of a reset. You know what I mean? Like take that thing back. I'm not saying it's going to be dominating as it was, but like I'm literally right now in the process of getting that thing back going to just go back and got to do a little reset.
You say that, you know what Erica said to close this part out because we got shit to talk about, and I'm sure Mike's back there. But what she said was, I think that this part helped, but it also hurt. She had so much fun at the Winter Series doing something that didn't have any pressure, that had no expectation. There was nothing. It was like, let's just go race, have fun. The Tidwell camp is a great thing. Got to hang out with all of us, do something different. And I think that after that, it kind of showed her something, and we've got to just reroute the business part of what she does inside of a race car to try and find that fun again. So shout out Winter Series for rerouting Erica's whole fucking brain. Wow. Thanks a lot, Westbuck. I have to be a psychiatrist now.
You've been that for years. Let's be real.
I truly have.
For sure. On both ends of it.
Yeah, I'm reading through some of these comments. I want to address them as we go on. Poor Spencer. People are talking about Spencer in here too with that. And so is he about DNQ in his first 2 outings. We'll talk about that when we get to Arizona Nationals. But like I said to your face, Spencer Hyde, if this shit was easy, everyone would do it. They would write a check and do it. And Stevie, I got to tell you this too. Somebody was talking to him. I can't remember who. And he brought up that conversation that you and him had on the starting line the other day. And whatever you said to him hit home and helped. So I have no idea what it was, but thanks.
Some man shit. That's not for you. That's some man shit.
And that's fine. Because he ended up telling somebody else. He's like, man, surprisingly, like Stevie said something. And it was like, ding. But you've been through all this shit, so you know.
Been through it all. I've won it all and lost it all, and we'll do it again. So it's a pretty fun ride.
It
All right.
is. All right, well, let's talk about racing now. We really had no plan of doing that, but it worked because we needed some filler while Stevie was on the road. So that was kind of organic there. Let's talk about the Arizona Nationals, huh?
By golly, it was very dry out there. There was no rain to be had. After Gainesville, it was very refreshing to pull up the radar and not see Class 5 thunderstorms.
Yeah, that was good, except it was hot and I got sunburned and sweaty, which is nice, but we went from like sweaters and rain straight to the desert sun. But before we bring Mike on, I've got this up here. If we want to run through the other classes, and then we'll bring our double champ up on the show today. What a freaking week he's had. First thing, I think, Molly, if you've got that there, again, no sound. To me, the wow moment of the weekend was Ron Capps.
Whew.
Man, this was bad.
God, and it was almost cool with the in-car camera, and they switched it. Jeez, this was awfully familiar to John's track, man.
Man, that lateral shot right there, that's what scares me the most about driving a car. Is like that lateral shot is what gets you.
You've got no control at that point, right? That thing comes off. Look, there's no tire on there. That is terrifying. And I saw a bunch of people in the comments, and I'm not smart enough on technology or what we do or don't do, why we do or don't do safety things, but there was a lot of heat about like the walls that NASCAR has now as opposed to the walls that we have. But if you think that the NHRA isn't having whatever conversations they need to have to do what they need to do because of John Force literally took out their moneymaker, the star of this sport. And then that was eerily similar to that deal. But he walked away from it, which is out of control. And you can see he was like kind of keeled over. He said he was out of breath. And I went over to his pit and he was kind of stiff walking. You can guarantee you he woke up sore for still.
I would say still.
But while we're on funny car, Paul Lee getting it done on what I think is one of the coolest things. If you don't believe in God, you can, I don't know what, but this is the way that it is. God had his hand on that because the 18th anniversary of Eric Medlin passing and John Medlin getting his first win in a really long time as the crew chief for Paul Lee. You don't get a cooler story than that, period.
It's pretty cool.
Yep. And Paul struggling. He's runnered up. He's this and that. And he's been an advocate for it. He's on the pro board, all the things. That was Paul got his needle. Let me tell you, if he ever, I don't think he did, but if he ever thought about giving it up because he hadn't gotten there yet, your boy's going to be around a long time. Nope. Took out Austin Prock and Jack Beckman in the semis was a cool matchup. Really, really close. 96 to a 97. Very, very cool deal there. We will breeze through. I'm pulling these up. Hopefully they're correct. Top Fuel. All Toledo final there with old Sean Langdon getting her done. He was close last week. And that's the thing about Sean. I picked him on the TV show. When Sean feels like he's got a chip, everything in his power, he will come back and win that race. If you ever are needing to bet on anything, bet on a pissed off Sean Langdon.
He drove really good.
Watching the pro teams adapt to the changing racetrack as temperature goes up and down there this weekend, man, it's impressive watching what those guys and girls do.
Yeah, and I don't know. I see on here. I didn't watch it. I don't know what happened to Brittany, but her and Sean were supposed to have each other in the semis, and I don't know if she got shut off, didn't start, what the deal was. Did any of you two watch that?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
I did. That's the one round that I missed. I wasn't able to watch. I do not know what happened there.
Jasmine Salinas, anything kind of really cool breakout weekend. She beat Clay Milliken. She beat Antron Brown, and then lost a pretty close one to Doug Toledo in the semis there. So she'll be one to watch moving forward. And then Pro Stock again, all KB final for the third race in a row. I know we've only had two, but the finals was the same way. If you guys didn't see the final round, Molly, I don't know. If we have that, do you want to show it? I don't remember if I sent that to you or not. This was wild. Yep. Gosh dang it, Molly's good. So Dallas jumps it. I don't know what happened there. I'm sure just something technically. I don't think that he makes that mistake. And then Greg Anderson said his car just died. And if Greg Anderson, if you look in second round of competition, his car backfired, wouldn't start. They had to take the hood off, put it back on. He ended up, it sounded like shit in the burnout and ended up going and beating Latino. When it's your day, it is your day. That was Greg Anderson had the race car to beat, but in the rounds of competition, the cards fell his way a couple of times that they shouldn't have. Have you ever seen a final round like that?
No.
No, I haven't, but I can tell you this. When that thing popped the intake gasket out of it and was idled up like that, like everybody's like, oh man, he's done. And then like they forget that that's Greg Anderson in the car. And like then he goes up there and wins on a hole shot. And like that's the cool stuff about our sport, man. Like when you're good, you're just good. You don't have to like him or anybody. You don't have to like her. You don't have to like that. Drag racing is the international sport because if you're flat out good, you're flat out good.
And he is. I mean, he's one of the greatest ever. But yeah, Matt Hartford qualified number 1 in his home track. Same thing. Got beat on a hole shot by Dallas in the semis. Pro stock is I think tight as it's been in a really long time. Obviously right now Dallas and Greg have it, but again, you know, you go out there, cut a 60 light, you're toast no matter who you are. So pretty close, pretty cool. And now to the important class. Just kidding, they're all important. Pro modified. All right, we want to bring on Mike while we talk about it.
Absolutely. Nobody else. He is Mr. Pro Modified right now. No need to not have him on here while we're skinning it back.
All right, let's bring him on.
What up? What up, Mike?
Look at his name.
Double Wally Stav. Oh,
Wait,
you're muted, Mike. Oh, there you go.
Hello.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
You good?
Look at them two Wallies back there.
You see him?
That's fresh money right there, son.
Yeah. Hey,
congratulations, dude.
It's almost like you had that ready.
Well, I mean, you saw I had to travel with those things yesterday. That was a little difficult. That was very difficult to do, by the way, going on the plane with those things. I mean, I didn't want to check them. You know, I wanted to bring them on board. I was letting everybody see them. And we were walking through the airport with those things. I mean, people left and right taking pictures of them. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I spotted
I don't know if they knew what they were. Some people didn't know what they were, but they were taking pictures.
It was like 6:30 in the morning. If anyone on here knows, I am not a morning person. I don't talk to anybody in the mornings. I'm standing over at the gate and I see 3 trophies and I was like, friend, walking over there. But it looked absolutely insane with him. Y'all are just carrying 3, 1 gator and 2 random wallies. And I joked with him. I'm like, if this flight attendant girl counts that as 2 personal items plus your backpack, I will take one, hit her over the head with it, and board the plane for you.
She was joking in the beginning, but she said, "Oh, you can't bring these on. You can't bring them on board." I'm like, "You gotta be kidding me!" So I think they're coming. They're coming with me.
Right here.
Yeah.
You can put me underneath the plane with these things. I'm hanging on.
Yeah, it was cool. I couldn't bring the big bonus checks, that KTR, that KTR low qualifier deal that I got.
Yep.
Couldn't bring it on the plane with me, but it's in the trailer. So
like, you pretty much like if folks didn't know who you were before, they know who you are now. And if they didn't watch you pay your dues, and this is what we were talking about when I was giving you your KTR top qualifier check, if they didn't watch you pay your dues last year, they would think that this was easy. Like, how good does it feel to like turn the corner, man? I mean, you got a badass team around you. Like, one of the guys that taught me how to blow an alcohol race, like, works on your car. Like, Todd Totoro and YO is awesome. You're doing a killer job driving it. How does it feel to turn the corner?
I mean, man, last year was just a tough deal. I mean, it really was. And there's really not many people to blame on that. I mean, we raced with Janice last year. They're great people. They got a great program. They make awesome horsepower. We just had we fought a chassis issue and a car issue most of the year. And it was just, we thought we fixed it, tested it. Thing would run in testing sometimes, and then it just didn't work on really any trade racetracks. I did not like those tracks. But, I mean, once we got to, we got to Indy. So basically in Virginia, we said, listen, we got to make a change here. So that's when we kind of decided, big thanks to KH. he sent over his 2018, I believe, 2018 championship car that was in a museum, I guess, over there or something on display. He said, I'm going to send it over. I said, all right, send it over. It came over here, and it wasn't up to par, let's just say. So big thanks to Justin at Modern Racing. He pretty much got me in there and revamped that whole car in a short period of time. I mean, we had like a 4-week window, and he basically had to build himself 80% of a car, I would say. I mean, we had the bare bones there, but long story short, we went to Indy, and that's where it started. We went to Indy with pretty much our first run with that car was Q1, and we had a plug wire off, I think, in Q1, if I'm not mistaken, and we were down to like 3 runs, and like Todd just like, let's just run with it, see what happens. And from there, that's when we got runner up. I mean, I think we had a car that could have potentially won that race, but no testing or anything like that. So we just came out the box and we did pretty good with it. I mean, we got runner up. I mean, that was a good deal. And then from there on, our program got stronger, and we still had a couple more DNQs. We skipped Vegas. I didn't really see a point going to Vegas. We won in the points at that time. That's where we did. Then they wanted to ship that car back over to Qatar. So we shipped it back to Qatar, and we tested and ran it. The combination it had, we had some good results with it. Did it for, I don't know, like a 2-week period where basically we just tested that car left and right. Ran good with it, shipped it back, and then we revamped our program, and that's basically where the whole start of the revamped AAP team started. And Todd's heading that team right now with his engine combination. Which is just an awesome combination, in my opinion. As you can see this past weekend with my car and JR's car, both went low qualifiers, and just really good horsepower in our camp right now. And we got, I call it the dream team. I mean, we got some good talent on that team. I think it's might be biased, but it's a pretty badass team. It's got some strong people over there, and we really only had a 7-week window to really do everything. And there was a lot of things that needed to be done, from a rig to rewiring cars to building motors. There was a lot of stuff that had to get done, and we got it done. And we really just tested the week right after the World Series, I think, right into Gainesville. So we had no testing on the cars, and then we tested okay, but we went into Gainesville with really 2 cars that were still kind of fresh out the box. But from Gainesville, we ran good, and then obviously we headed into Phoenix and dropped the hammer. Did pretty good.
You dropped 2 hammers, buddy.
Dog.
2, yeah, 2.
You dropped all the hammers.
We got all the money. But it was cool. It was a great experience, though. It was awesome.
After you won the first one, so like we've had all of us have had situations like that where a double up weekend happens. Like, who knows what would have happened if we would have run that in Gainesville? Who knows what would have happened if we ran it wherever you guys were going to run it before? But when you can have the hold of a racetrack and be in the mode that you guys were in and have the opportunity to double up, it takes one hell of a team. It's a marathon, but those are such rare opportunities to capitalize on that, you may never get another one of those again to carry 3 trophies home on an airplane.
Yeah. I mean, the situation was how many times did we get a rain out event, like 2 events in the one? I was really excited going into Phoenix because of that. And we tested earlier in the week. We tested pretty strong, and I was like, man, we got a race car. We have something that we could potentially go there. I didn't really expect to go number 1 like that. And then from there on, we just kind of went through the round 1, 2, 3, 4, and it came. I mean, the car was, Todd had that thing on cruise control. So it made my job very, very easy. I did my portion of it, but they did theirs. He had that thing on rails. So without, big thanks to him, because without him, this was just,
I'd like all 3 of y'all's input on this, right? So you go into this race, Q1 is round 1. Stevie, first off, is a tuner. What's the difference in there? You were, right? So how do you even prepare to do both of those things?
So the first thing is it would not be as bad or as challenging if it was a racetrack we raced on all the time. If you have a double up at Bristol or Virginia or Charlotte or Gainesville or Norwalk or something that we all have hundreds of runs of data on, the pressure is not as high. Going into E1, Q1 in Phoenix was tough. I mean, we missed it fast. on wheel speed, and we probably missed it by half a degree of timing. I mean, it was very close to making it. And then, there's a lot of pressure on the driver. You don't normally see a lot of these drivers on the practice tree before a Q1 run. You see them after Q2 or after Q3. You walk through the pits, everybody's got their practice tree out. Everybody's in the car hitting it. It's kind of exciting. It's kind of different. But it's definitely a different approach. You normally go into Q1 making sure you don't burn the motor up. And when you go into Q1, E1, you've got your final round tune-up in there.
Lyle, I feel like you're the kind of driver that like wants situations like that. Like, give me.
Yeah. I was paying attention throughout the week, and I look at drivers and, and how they're driving, letting go of the button on time and whatnot, and I knew early in the day, I'm like, I know I've never doubled up like you did, Mike, but I've had those weekends where I was extremely confident in the race car, and it makes driving the car so much easier, and I watched you all weekend long, and I knew it. I was like, he's confident. He's driving like he's confident. And when they go up there to make a run, everybody's watching, and I mean, you haven't pro mod raced too awful long, right? You're still within your first, you've done it 2-3 seasons now?
At this level, at least, like I've done a lot.
Right.
I've driven fast cars, but really,
you've been,
big tire stuff, quarter mile stuff.
Right.
It's really probably second full year.
And it's a different ball game, and you drove like somebody that's been doing it for maybe not quite as long as Ricky Smith, but for a long time, and it looked good. Y'all made it look easy. And by God, we all know it's not. I had a year kind of like you last year, we just couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with a baseball bat, and it was tough. And it's really tough to drive good when the car's not running good, but you ran really good. The car ran great. You drove great. And I mean, you didn't, I don't want to say you made a mockery of the field, but like y'all just flat kicked ass, man. And it was fun to watch. I was happy for you. It was as tough of a season as I had. It was tough to look over there and watch y'all struggle, because I knew where you were at. And for you to come out this year and just flat stomp ass, man, it's cool to see. JR deserves it. You deserve it. And y'all are going to be, I said it today. I talked to Justin Elks and Scott Tidwell both today, and I told him, I'm like, y'all better get some stuff figured out, or them boys are going to run just flat over everybody all year long, and right now you are the pace is set, and it's going to take a flat hot rod to go out there and run with y'all. But, I'm proud of you, dude. It was so fun to watch. Cammy emotional on the starting line.
Yeah.
There after you won, that's feel good, dude. And I, enjoy it, man. 'Cause it's those two behind you. I've flown with every one of mine, and those two behind you mean a lot. And I'm just proud of you, dude. It was so awesome to watch. You did just a fantastic job.
Thanks.
It was awesome.
Yeah, it was, I got a little emotional when we had it, because like you guys were talking about it earlier, like it gets to the point where you're not really having too much fun doing it anymore. But when you go out, obviously when you go out there with a weekend like this, you're having a ball. So it kind of gave me some momentum going into, I got to leave tomorrow morning to go. I mean, I got to go. I don't know if it's going to be as fun as the NHRA stuff, but I got to head to Big Jake's race this weekend. I mean, I'm not, I got to mentally prepare for this kind of, to go grudge racing again this weekend. So, trying to like switch over now to that, but, no, man, it was awesome. I mean, it's like we've wanted to do to win a Wally. Like I've raced junior directors from when I was 8 years old. So I've had to stop racing since then. And I've always had that, like, I want a Wally. I don't care what it took to get it. That was it. So to get two in one shot was just, that's why when they interviewed me, I was like, this doesn't feel real to me. Like it still doesn't. Like to even look back there and see that, to me, it's like, it's a little like, it still just hasn't hit. It hasn't sunk in, because 2 in 1 shot like that is just, I would hope I get 2 in my whole career drag racing. And to get 2 in the weekend was like it was cool. And the Gator's kind of cool too. I didn't even know we were getting that thing twice.
Dude, the Gator's really cool. So
sweet.
there's some of these races are like, now that you're a multi-Wally winner, right? We can get into this stuff. Like you got the ice cream scoop in Norwalk. They do a special thing in Brainerd. Like even the Arizona Nationals one for the pro guys, they had like this other thing. You'll start to pick and choose, right? After you've got a stack of those behind you. Okay, well, I don't have an ice cream scoop yet. Well, you got the Gator. It took Erica 21 years to get that damn Gator. You got the Gator.
There are 2 tracks that we race at that I cannot win at.
Oh.
What was that? What was that?
Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Congratulations to Mike.
Norwalk and Gainesville are the 2 tracks. I can't get that damn Gator, and I can't get that damn ice cream scoop.
Well, see, you're already one step ahead of Stevie Fast Jackson there.
Can't do it.
No.
I got all the other ones, and when you talk about doubling up, both times I won the World Championship, I won Vegas at the end of the year, and it's like when it's supposed to happen. Austin Cole says it. You've heard me say it a million times. When it's your day, nothing matters. When it's not, nothing helps. Like when it's flowing and going, and you're supposed to be winning, nobody can take it from you, man.
Another bonus. It was awesome. The Total Seal, the showdown deal, the 10 grand for the average ET, the low ET. That was like something that we were just running our eliminations, and like I totally forgot about that. So they presented us that check. I was like, damn. So
was there anything up for grabs this past weekend that you didn't win?
No, we like cleaned house, dude. Like,
okay.
I don't even want. Like, I'm not even trying to like put myself out there right now. But when I tell you, we swept that. House up there.
No, you have to. You have to. Just before you got in the green room here, we were all kind of like venting, and this turned into a motivational podcast about trying to work in the sport that you love and do all these things. And the moments that are big like this, they're few and far between. And if you don't keep those close to your veins, the drug will runneth the fuck under and lose it. So this is one, and for it to be your first is wild. Like I watched your interview with Amanda down there at the finish line, and you could tell, I don't know you very, very well, but like, you know, when you look down and getting emotional and whatnot and seeing Cammy on the starting line, like these are those things that you have to bank and you have to keep right here, or this shit becomes monotonous. And if it's not perfection, you get pissed off, and just having to remember those to fill your cup when it's low, because there will be times when you're not, you know, floating on that high. But we're back to KTR. But I want to get your perspective before we move on what we talked about going E1 off the trailer. So you're early enough in your NHRA Pro Mod career, right, where you're proving yourself. You've done that now, but you're thinking, okay, I've got this obstacle, then I'll do this, then I'll do that. Well, coming off the trailer, Q1 equal E1. I don't think that you could have written it any better, but was that any kind of extra pressure? Was it just a different opportunity for you guys to be able to show up race ready? What was your mental state like?
A very important thing that we told ourselves we're going to do this year is we're going to test. We need the test coming into it, like as close as we can into race day. And for me, it's just getting in that car the week of or whatnot, just being mentally prepared, especially going on the E1 as Q1 was a big thing. Like I didn't want to show up there, not driving from Gainesville to here and coming right off the trailer on the E1 like that. To me, that's not preparation, for where you need to be. So we tested earlier in the week, Monday, and we had decent results. And like when we put that thing in we had great results with my car. When we had at that point, I said, you know what? Todd said, we're putting that thing in the trailer. We're going to Phoenix. As soon as, at that point, I was ready to go. And we came off the trailer, and that thing like I said, that thing was on cruise control, like straight cruise control.
And it looked really good. Like the car looked so good going down the racetrack.
That's Todd, man. That's how he rolls, man. That thing was just phenomenal. That whole package in that car is just on point right now. Yeah. I hope we could carry out through the season, but it's
pretty freaking
when you can be confident going up there on the starting line like that in not only your people but your cars, like, and that's what kind of at Elite what we've got going on right now. We haven't won a lot of rounds. It made me think back to like, if we didn't win, what we expected to win. You got to expect yourself to win, but all those dominoes have to fall together to be able to do that, and you got to ride it out. And right now you are just hateful.
I want to
go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like we're going back to like the whole team is just where they need to be. Like our whole team is just like was focused on that. So it wasn't really just me. Like everybody, like Spencer, Rick, Brad back at the shop with the motors, like Todd, Ty, like all these guys. They're just like they had the same state of mind as I had. So it really is like more of a team oriented thing to me. Like I drive, these guys do their job. So it's not like, everybody really needs to be in sync with each other. And that's one thing I learned, like this is really a team effort trying to get, get that thing in the winner's circle. I mean, as much as a driver, we get the fame, which is great. But at the end of the day, like that crew and that team behind you is like everything. Like it is so crucial.
It's a team sport that's viewed as a solo sport.
That's the thing. Nobody understands that. And I try to get that through people's heads. Like that is a big thing with drag racing. Like whoever's behind you, that has a lot to do with you. So
Spencer worked on my car last year, and to see him up there and get a win, man, it was cool. But
it was.
What I was going to ask you to change the subject a little is, I was honestly a bit jealous because a dream of mine is to go overseas somewhere and race. Like I want to leave the States and go race somewhere. And the Middle East is one of the places I would really like to go and do that. But I want you to talk a little about the experience of racing over there, that kind of how they do it. The facilities I've heard, I've never been, are really nice. And it's kind of a bit of a different world as far as the racing goes, but talk a little bit about your experience over there and kind of how that went.
So I went this year. But I also went, I think it was I can't remember the exact year, like 2014 or 13, I went over there too, a while back. I've been over there before. I've driven Pro Mod over there, not with the AAP team, but I've got to drive some cars over there. Stevie probably doesn't remember. He was over there running his. That's when he had, whatever year he had that orange car over there, I ran that year, one of those years. Anyways, it was awesome. So this year, they didn't have an actual class for Pro Mod. They had all their small tire stuff, which is, awesome. They had full fields. Like, it was legit, like full fields, top-notch cars. It wasn't like the first time I went over there, they didn't have a lot of competition. Now there's, like, a ton of cars. The people over there, super nice. KH, Jason, Sharp, all these guys. It's just it's really welcoming when you're going over there. And then I get over there for the Pro Mod. That car's over there ready to go just to test. And I get over there, and there's a legit top fuel dragster like in the shop, and like he's got one of our 4.9 Pro Mod motors sitting in it. I'm like, damn, that's cool. He's like, oh, you're gonna drive it? I'm like, oh man. I was like, all right, cool. Never been down the track before with this. It's never been on the track. It was just Mark was over there working on it, so they get it over there, and we start making laps in that thing, and thing was doing wheel stands and shaking the tires and going down the track all side. It was a pretty wild ride. But after that, Sean took over the seat of that thing, and he followed that thing for hours. You could have this thing. I want to drive the Pro Mod. I felt a lot safer with that Pro Mod. That thing was a little sketchy. And he even said this, Sean Langdon, he said the same thing, man. He got out the car. I was like, man, it must have felt kind of slow. He's like, man, that thing was a blast. He goes, and he was telling me how much more difficult it was to drive than the top fuel car. Whatever. But it was awesome. The whole country, Qatar is like, man, when I went over there the first time, that was before the World Cup and everything. Now that country has developed into something that is like a 2025 version of our country. It's wild over there. I love it. I really hope I get the opportunity to go over this year. But it's a great place. Sheikh Khaled, Cage, Jason Sharp, the whole team, the whole shop, awesome people, great facility. The track surface was couldn't ask for a better track over there. So whatever we got the test on over there was probably the best surface we'll get the test on ever. But yeah, we hot lapped that thing. We made, I can't even tell you how many passes we made with it, but no, it was a good time. Everything just all around, just good people over there. Everything, good hotels, good restaurants.
They love drag racing over there.
They love all racing. The car,
They had
a car show, a massive car show. They had the drifting. They had so much stuff going on there. It was incredible. Like the motorsport enthusiasts over there were like something I would never have expected, ever.
Well, getting videos of going up the sand dunes.
Yeah, that
flipping
stuff's,
over.
Yeah, that stuff's wild. It's crazy.
Well, moving forward, even if they have to drag some shit box like beer money out of the desert, if they need an extra guy, I'm
gonna put the word in for you. Don't worry, Lyle.
Call me up.
It's so cool over there, and KH gave me my first pro shot, at racing. He was my first big sponsor, and the first time I raced over there, I was blown away by the passion that everybody has for the sport. It is the way motorsports here was in the 80s and 90s. The fans are rabid for it. The people love it. The racetrack is phenomenal. me and Belushi have always talked about it. Racing in the Middle East, whether it be Bahrain or Qatar or Kuwait, making 20 runs there is like making 100 runs here. I mean, it's pretty cool to be able to run same conditions, great racetrack. I am personally super fired up that Sheikh Khaled is back in drag racing. Watching him field 5 cars and seeing that support back into the pro mod side of the sport is pretty cool. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, he's super stoked about the whole deal. Like, I mean, we talk all day throughout rounds and stuff, and he's just like, keep your focus. Don't celebrate this, keep going. I'm like, all right. We didn't even talk. We usually talk all the time. I didn't talk to him like the whole event until he's like, keep your focus. I'm like, all right. After we won the first one, he's like, go back to the hotel, go to bed. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, don't celebrate.
Yeah. So went back to the hotel and focused for the next day. And I really did have the feeling that I had that car that could win Phoenix too after Gainesville. But like, it's drag racing, anything could happen. So you can never take anything but I was like, man, I felt very confident going into race day. We had a great car. I'm like, I think we could pull this off. Like, I think we could do it.
That's half the damn battle.
Yeah, it worked out for us. I mean, it was our weekend. I mean, my favorite round win was definitely busting JR's ass, though. That was definitely the best one of the weekend.
I had some side bets on that. I'm not going to tell y'all which way I bet, but I bet side bets on there. The fans fired up to watch y'all race.
I love that guy. He's good. But it was.
I generally, when it's a race like that, and I really like both you guys and respect you, I kind of take whoever the fans don't want in the stands.
Oh, you think that you'd go against the grain? Weird.
No, I'm just saying, like, if everybody's betting on somebody, and I'll normally take the other folk if I can get odds.
Well, I just was looking at this ladder here. Race day number 1, you averaged a 36 light. Race day number 2, you averaged 48 lights. So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I wasn't like, I told myself, don't kill the tree. Like, get a good light. Just don't. But
you were consistent. You were steady 30s, 40s.
I knew I had a good car, and I didn't want to. I just wanted to be consistent. That's all I wanted to do. I had some 30s. I had a couple 20s. But I knew if I could stay in that zone there, I mean, I could hit that tree, but I just didn't want to get to the point where I was going to, too close for comfort. I knew I had a good race.
Your worst light was a 51.
Yeah.
And that's really hard to do. Like,
yes, it is.
To go up there in a class that does not allow a delay box, right? Like, if you're going to put delay in your butt and you do it in your thumb, right? And that's really hard to do, to go up there and know that if I just don't red light, I can win the race. Because a lot of times, and I've fell victim to it, a lot of the times when you go up there, I just don't red light and I can win the race, you're 90, right? Or you're 100.
It's a mental game. I always tell people that. Like, everyone's like, oh, don't let Ricky, or don't let, like, tricky Ricky. Like, don't let him get in your head. I say, Ricky ain't getting in my head. I can tell you that right now. He is not getting in my head. But
here's the problem with running Ricky Smith, because I have raced him dozens of times. He doesn't have, everybody thinks he gets in your head. He wills parts to fall off of your car, and they will. You know how many times Ricky's beat me because, like, the airline fell off the transmission, or the battery cutoff switch fell off, or the torque converter bolts broke, or the rear gear broke on the starting line. I mean, just stuff that, like, has nothing to do with intimidation. It's like he throws his little fishing pole out and, like, wills failure upon his opponent. It's terrible.
It didn't work this week.
Listen, you got to give. He runnered up twice too. So at the end of the day, we won 2 races, we won 2 events, but at the same time, he runnered up. I mean, a runner-up's still a good weekend. He didn't get in. Like, I know he didn't get in until that 4th session when we ran him. He just got in the field and he made it to the final. So I mean,
then he's always going to do that. Like,
I know
he's a good racer, man.
He knows how to win. He knows how to win.
Well, as somebody who's, again, I know you're not new to drag racing, but new to the NHRA Pro Mod scene, like, who gets to say that they busted Ricky Smith's ass 2 times in 2 days?
Well, that was another thing. Like, all the accomplishments we had this weekend. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, you won this, you won this." I was like, "Yeah, but we also busted Ricky's ass twice." So,
and listen, that's not, those viewers here, that's not talking shit. That's saying, because he's been the man for so long, and he's very outspoken about all of the things, and those kind of guys invite people to make it feel good when they beat you.
The last 3 times Ricky has beat me in NHRA competition, I have had him covered by over a tenth. The last 3 times I have been out on him just 3 cars riding down the track, and the thing quits. Like, I don't understand it. He's got a voodoo doll of me.
Got a voodoo.
I mean, I left on him all 3 times by 30 and 40 thousandths of a second and blazing down there, already doing the cha-cha in the car, got the wally, headed to the track. Nope. Father Time strikes again.
Father Time. Somebody just said, y'all be nice to Lyle's best friend.
I'm a Ricky Smith fan. Guys out there running nitrous. Everybody's bitching about what he said in his E1 interview the first day, which was Q1. You gotta love the fact that he'll say what he thinks. So, like, whether you like Ricky or you don't like him or think he cries or thinks he's awesome, it's cool for them to point a camera at Ricky and him say what's on his mind.
Yeah.
Well, and he did that.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He did it, and it was all, I didn't see it, and it was like within 20 minutes in the pits, all the pro stock were like, what was Ricky mad about? What was Ricky saying? Da, 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 da. Like, it just trickled all the way down to the pits, because when whether you agree with him or not, whatever he's bitching about needs to be brought up in some way, shape, or another. What was he bitching about? I didn't even see.
Probably a hot racetrack or something that nobody
can control.
I
love him.
I don't know what
it was. It was the fact that they didn't give him a run.
Oh, the test run or something like that.
They didn't give they didn't give Q1 to not count towards the Gators for them to get a tune up for the rest.
They
of the
wanted
Gators
an extra run. Well, but the thing is, everybody got the same thing.
Yeah,
right. But it was wrong.
Man, all I got to say is Texas might be exciting.
Might be.
Could be.
Why?
I don't know.
So I got a question for you, Mike. I know we've probably got a few more minutes with you, and then Lyle's got to bounce soon. So now that you've started this season like this, so like we're big on goals. My family's big on goals. Our team's big on goals. You set your goals out for the beginning of the year, kind of keeping your expectations in check. Did what you did this weekend just obliterate whatever putting yourself in check that you have, and now you want to just like run the damn show?
I mean, I was hoping I could just win the rest of them all year and make this really easy.
That's what I mean.
No, I mean, I listen. It was a hot, tricky racetrack. We had a handle on that track. Todd had a handle on the track, but it's going to be different come Charlotte. You know, everything's going to be changed. You know, we got to prepare again and start from scratch and go into that race like it's a whole new, mindset on the thing. But I mean, we won a championship this year. That's what we're here to do, and that's what our mindset is. And I'm not letting anything stop me from getting that. I'll tell you right now that I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to try to achieve that goal. I'm going to do it.
You're doing it.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of work, and we got to put a lot of effort into it, but I think we got the guys behind us to do it. So
it's a journey, and it will be a journey.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Well, you guys got anything else for Mike? Mike, you want to?
So what do you, real quick before you go, there's a couple things. One, what is your strategy now? Because I've started seasons like this. I've never doubled up back to back, but I've started with mega points leads. It's hard to lead from the front. What's your strategy to stay humble and keep going? And then the other question is, are you guys testing before Charlotte, or are you going to just take this momentum and roll in there?
I would definitely assume we're going to test. I mean, we haven't made any plans yet, but coming back to over here to East Coast, I mean, things are we're gonna have to test before Charlotte. I can tell you that right now. Before going to Charlotte, we're gonna have to do some testing. Got to prepare, get ready. No, as far as, I mean, we got momentum now. I mean, we have 2 good hot rods. JR's car's running just as good too. I mean, I barely, knocked him out in the semis, and that was a close drag race. I mean, he's got a very good car, capable of running just as good as mine is. We're just going to go, everything's getting serviced and freshened up and ready to go, and we're just going to come back out with the same mindset, really, and just try to go out there and really just try to keep our momentum flowing and see what we can do. I mean, there's really not too much more to it than that's, just try to prepare best we can for it and move forward and just keep the same game plan and stay on top.
That's Stevie's favorite word ever, preparation.
It's so crucial though. It's like, I learned that these last couple of years, like Actually, I remember Todd mentioned that to me like last year before we went to Indy. Like we really wanted to get a day in testing. Like we had this brand, basically I say a brand new car. Like we wanted to test this car before we go to the biggest race of the year, right? And he's like, listen, we could go. And I think Justin told me this too. It's like we win races at the race shop, not at the track. So like we spent that extra day just going over everything on the car, getting everything right, and we went out there and everything worked right. So it's just like Stevie knows preparation. Getting ready. Winning races at the race shop is what I was told, and I'm realizing that's like the biggest thing.
90% of it's done before the rig pulls out of the parking lot. You just got. We always say, and it always doesn't work like this, but we do all the work here. We go to the track to collect the trophy. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. Number one question. Number one most sought after question. All right. You smoke out. You win the Gator. You qualify number one. You win the Total Seal Showdown. You win the KTR Top Qualifier. You win Arizona. You win everything, and then you leave the track and you're gone to the Mexican joint to celebrate, to get some fishbowl margaritas. Are you ordering a big old steamy plate of fajitas or no? Do you or do you not love fajitas?
I did have a fajita actually before we headed to Arizona. Now I'm thinking about it.
So it's his good luck meal.
I mean, I did.
So you're saying you had a plate of fajitas and then won everything in racing?
That actually happened. Like that was at the airport. I actually did that. Now I'm thinking about it.
Wow, that may be the biggest.
I'm sorry, man.
Me and you are going to start eating fajitas before every race. This man loves fajitas. Fajitas are awesome. Fajitas are for champions.
I'll lose until the day I die.
You will. I don't know if you've ever watched our show before or anything, but okay. So context, Lyle's a big old baby when it comes.
But what can I say, right? Like the dude just absolutely swept, made a mockery of the class. I can't say anything. You know what? Eat fajitas, Mike, I guess. Jesus.
Right, and he's got a pretty spiffy little facial hair situation over there too, so you can't say it's because of the way to manhood.
Nah, nothing like Lyle's. Like, I mean, that's just
but I mean, you got it shaped up. You got it control on your beard.
I got a nice little shape to it, but Lyle's just. I mean, I can't get that. You know what I'm saying?
You can. Just stop eating fajitas. They singe that shit off. Just eat a peanut butter and jelly. Jesus Christ,
what a sore loser. Grow up. There it is. Well, it's been awesome. Thanks for coming on, man. We usually go back and forth. Who are we going to have? Yada, yada. It was no question. It wasn't even who are we. It was like, so Mike?
Yep. 100%.
Well, I appreciate you guys for having me.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep. Congratulations, Mike. Again, man, it was awesome to watch, dude.
You keep running like you're running, you're going to get the big trophy at the end too. Keep your head down.
We're gonna try. I'm just trying to. Honestly, I'm trying to get 8 more of those low qualifier KTR checks, man. You told me that. You did tell me that. You said you're gonna be handing us a lot of those, and that's my goal. That's a good payday. That's another much appreciation.
It's a good deal, man. We work hard. KTR. We love rewarding people that work hard and keep this, not letting any sand stay in the trunk and running that thing hard. So I'm proud of you. I expect we'll be giving you a bunch.
Yep. Send them my way. I'll take it.
Thank you, brother. We appreciate you.
See you, dude.
Coming on. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
See you, bud.
Thank you, brother. Man, Mike's awesome. Real talented driver. Been doing it a long time. Good control of the race car and a good ambassador for the sport.
And a great, he's already got it. He's already got all the things. His interviews were great. He speaks well. He's knowledgeable. He's got a good head on his shoulders. A lot of times you got to find one before the other, and he seems to be ready to rock.
All right, let's stroll through. Upcoming, we have Battle of the Thrones coming up Rockingham this week. We got multiple people building RVW cars. Multiple people coming out for Pro 275. We got all kind of cars and all kind of classes. We got LDRs smoking hot, fresh off the new rule change to try to slow the Buicks down. We got Ultra Street cars blowing through. What do y'all think? Going to be a good race?
Are you coming?
I will be there. I'm not competing. We're getting new front end and engines repaired from World Series of Pro Mod and all the other tire smoking blowups.
You don't say.
So the Shadow is getting a little facelift with some new equipment right now. So I will not make this race. I will be there tuning the Henderson mobiles, the Buicks. Jeffrey Barker will be remote tuning the little Buick, and look forward to hanging out with you guys.
Well, Jeffrey must have ate a bad batch of fajitas. Can't make it.
He actually is going to be doing a little testing with some of our Pro Nitrous teams this weekend.
Nice.
Jeffrey's gonna kill me. I've been running him ragged. I had him here 2 days on the hub last week. I had him at the racetrack with me today. I'm wearing him out. So I appreciate him working hard.
That was funny, Lyle.
What?
That was pretty funny.
Bad batch fajitas. That made me laugh. That tickled
That's
me.
pretty funny. Answer this question, Lyle. What horsepower should you run double over a single on beadlock?
You should always get doubles if the wheel is eligible.
Okay.
Not every wheel is. Backspace determines that. You can call me. We can go over it. I made a video. If the wheel's eligible for doubles, there's no reason to single it and not double it unless you just want the show, the look. If you're running a radial, you should always get a double if the wheel is eligible. But call me 844-257-5502. Answer all your questions about beadlock problems.
I love your customer service voice. So different than the one you speak to me with.
That's because you're
What now?
not going to say it. Not going to say it live. Not going to say it live. In the green room when this show's over, though, I'll let you know what I think.
You always do.
Anyway,
So after that, then we've got we've got Pomona, obvi, but then we've got PDRA, the long-awaited PDRA outing for Lyle Barnett, Stevie Fast, a sponsor of the series, going to be involved. We are just PDRA family.
About PDRA. We got a lot of customers competing in PDRA. We got some new faces coming out. We got we found some stuff in the Papster Mobile at World Series of Pro Mod. The chassis needed some updates. RK and Ryan and his staff at RK did a great job on getting it hustled in and fixed. And we got some new technology going on left and right. It's going to be fun.
I'm excited. I love PDRA time.
I've ran some PDRA when they had the small tire stuff back in the day. Before the Super Street and Pro Street stuff started, they tried some radial stuff here and there. I ran the Dart, the Jason Digby on Tooth Jerker back then, but I have never competed there in Pro Mod. I've tested some PDRA Pro Boost cars for some customers and whatnot, but I am pumped to go run in Pro Boost. It's arguably probably the most competitive class possibly in all of drag racing. And you got to show up.
Not shake my head hard enough.
Correct. So after our showing at the World Series, I feel like we got a car that can go out there and run with them. So I'm pumped, man. I'm excited to get out there and do it.
It's just such a different series too. Like it's the feel when you're there. There's something about it. There's a lot of pressure, obviously, because it's some of the baddest racers in the country, but it doesn't feel like it's just a good time. Like honestly, everybody's so nice there, and I mean this from my whole guts. Like the Franklins, the vibe that they have created of everybody being a part of the same family, and all that, except for once you stage up next to each other. But I'm gonna have to find a new home, so I guess Lyle, tell Tommy I'm hanging out because Spencer's not going PDRA racing this year, so you're gonna have to deal with me.
You gotta buy.
Y'all are lucky. Otherwise, I would be there. I'll be racing in Brazil, but I'll be remoting at PDRA, and we'll have a bunch of our KTR staff there. So y'all make sure none of my guys burn anything down that's expensive.
Yeah, that's your job. You do that. Probably burn less shit up without you there.
Just also, if you walk by Jeffrey Barker, just tell him shift up, 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 up. Never shift down, 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 down.
No problem. In fact, I can do that. You want me to just go over there and
just highlight any dot that you see on the screen. If it goes up into glorious heavens, is faster, and if it goes into the depths of misery, it runs like shit. Just remember that.
Perfect. Got it.
Sounds easy. I could probably do it.
If you watch me tune lately, anybody can do it. Like
also this weekend, I know Mike's going there. Stevie, I'm sure you've got some customers of some sort there, but Big Jake's got arguably one of the bigger races the No Time and Grudge crowd have to offer and go to this weekend. And I am going to try some way in shape or form to tune into that amongst running at Battle of the Thrones. But I'm a little jealous. I had the opportunity to drive a car there. And I'm a little jealous that we can't figure these schedules out and make it to where we can go to all of them. Because that's
too.
That's going to be.
We have some KTR customers that will be smoking through there. Bob Reinhart just texted me, our engine Super Bob, says he'll go to PDRA and burn it up. So if we need any help, his one burned up, we're ready to do it.
Bob and Lyle on the 1s and 2s. Woo! Send the hood scoot right into oblivion.
Yeah.
Just go ahead and put a Buzz Lightyear sticker on that thing.
Oh man,
that was fun. You made me laugh twice today.
Look at me.
You're just y'all two got to get a room. Y'all are being too nice to each other. I'm gonna need a little bit of violence.
You know why? It's because I'm not drinking tonight.
Somebody posted that we needed a green room clip. So, like, what we need to do, first of all, most of that you can't put on the internet.
No.
So, like, literally 3 minutes before the deal starts, Courtney's walking around half naked. Lyle's scratching his butt. I'm driving and cussing out the traffic attendant. And, like, you just can't put that on the internet. Like, you can't do it.
I mean, we
And
could.
the ones after, especially if we've all been drinking, that's
And if it's a good show, that's the one you want to watch. We need to do like a behind the scenes deal where like
we should do the subscription, do the subscription deal where you have to pay for it, and it's Shake and Bake After Dark.
It doesn't matter how much they pay if it'll ruin my career.
That's correct.
Like you two have enough ammo on me. That's how you know we're all tight. Y'all got enough ammo on me to like just if you ever get tired of me, you can just ruin my whole life.
Yeah, we're those to that level of friendship where we don't even know if we still like each other anymore. We just have too many secrets exposed, and we're friends.
Right. We just call at each other and be like, "I sure hope Courtney don't tell her that thing I said about those people."
We could all ruin each other's lives.
In fact, I wonder what kind of you're close enough to the border down there. I wonder what kind of drugs you've been giving Spencer. Something wrong with that motherfucker.
But somebody asked him yesterday how much he was getting paid to tolerate me. And I was like,
that's a fair question.
Awesome.
It's probably a direct deposit from Elite Motorsports just to get you fucking out of the country for a little bit.
Or my dad or something.
Hey,
maybe
let's talk about coincidence and fact. Spencer drove a Pro Mod. All of a sudden, he starts dating Purple Teeth. Next thing you know, we're top fuel racing. So I wonder if Elite maybe got a little dust off in there to.
I go ahead and tell you, if dating Courtney's your ticket to Top Fuel, I'm fucking out. Guess I'm not Top Fuel racing ever. Fuck.
That's so mean.
See, now we're back on course.
You know what? I am funny. I'm kind of smart. And I'm a very reasonable human. Everybody thinks I'm this, that. I lay my crazy out. Under your face, you don't have eyebrows, but I can tell where they would have been if you had them. I'm a very reasonable human being.
This.
There are no surprises with me. There are no surprises. My crazy is out on the table. If you don't like it, fuck off.
That's very true.
Cody, you cannot put any of that footage on the internet. Period. No. Because me and Lyle were enjoying the day on that day.
Yeah, don't ruin it.
Leave
it to the women.
Damn drama queens.
Fuck up a good time.
Yeah, okay. Whatever you boys say. Whatever you say. See, we had a nice, agreeable show. Everybody was singing Kumbaya.
Y'all brought it up. I
had to kick that bucket of cheer over.
I'm just going to tone this one down. Nope, straight to Courtney's throat.
If dating Courtney's the ticket to Top Fuel, I'm out.
I'm fucking out. Nope.
Okay, we've derailed this deal. So we got Galat coming up. We got Battle of Thrones. What else we got?
That's it.
That's it for a minute, I think. I got
some invoicing to do if y'all wanna.
Yeah, I'm fixing to actually go work on the hub dyno. If anybody lives close to Thompson and you're asleep, I'm sorry. I need to make a couple of pulls. So you're sorry about that picture of your dog on your mantle that's about to fall off.
Yeah, we got Battle for the Thrones in Pomona, Galat, then 4
and Big Jake.
Easter.
Big Jake
this week.
Sorry, it's not on my flow calendar yet.
Should be.
Listen, we've had some requests. We have had some requests. So, well, for as unorganized as this was, and all of us coming in, we have solved the world's problems. We have talked about working in your passion. We've talked about work-life balance. Poor Lyle his text said, I'm going to smack my wife's butt and kiss my kid and come on the show. Hasn't even seen his family yet. And we managed to have a pretty organized.
Thanks to Molly, because none of us, I know I did zero for this show. Huge shout out to Molly Prince for running the Shake and Bake show and doing all of our.
Whatever you're paying her, it's worth it.
Whatever you're paying her ain't enough.
She does a great job. I was trying to find this.
Jacob said that the rig will be back in 2 hours, and you better have his spot clean. You hear me?
So I just got message from someone that's seen Big Frank and Jacob smoking through Tuscaloosa, Alabama, on the way back to the shop. I'll be sitting here with a crescent wrench ready to go to work as soon as he gets here. The one I was looking for a graphic, but I can't find it. The one thing that we haven't talked about is all the horsepower and merchandise that you can get at KillenTimeRacing.net. I can't find a graphic for it, but I was going to sell something.
Well, I'm sure you still will. Anyway.
I'll sell some wheels if you want to call 844-257-5502.
There you
Got
go.
all your wheel needs. Roll you right to the winner's circle.
And if you find yourself with those wheels and not enough power to make them spin, you can call 706-989-6977 for all your horsepower, parts, and sales and hub down needs.
And if you're feeling down and need a pick-me-up, call Courtney Enders to tell you how shitty your life is.
Or if you need to get kicked in the balls, call Courtney Enders at 1-800-TEX-MEX. You know, I always called Canadians snow Mexicans, and now you have on, you got on the Tex-Mex hat, so I guess that's kind of.
I'm back on.
How have you not gotten called? I know why you haven't gotten called by a golf course to rake their traps, because you fucking suck at it.
Damn, wow.
And there it is. Video of me raking the golf course a few months ago with Dion and Spencer. Remember?
Yeah, and the rake was upside down.
I was flying it. It was my motor.
Have you or have you not put my rake together? No, you haven't. Like, this is unbelievable. In this show, before I just absolutely go ape shit, I sent that. I was looking through my Amazon orders the other day to find something I ordered like 2 years ago, and I was like,
you need to put it together and rake that thing.
He doesn't know how.
I don't rake my own lawn. I'm going to use this as a wine glass holder. I'm going to make a thing.
Oh, yeah, when?
I don't know. Maybe when my work life balance gets a little better. I'll hit you over the head with it.
Please.
If I take this over the border, they'll think that I'm a Trumper and I'm trying to like hurt Canadians or something.
I'll just ship one to Spencer's house so it can sit under the staircase or fuck ever. What are y'all raking up there? Fucking snow?
Tariffs?
Yeah, crazy.
Oh, I would absolutely put some ridiculous price on that thing, so you had to pay some outrageous on it. Oh, for sure.
It's made out of Inconel. It's made out of titanium.
Value of this item, $1,000.
Spencer says, I'll be making that. Who are you kidding? That's correct.
Well, thank you everybody for watching. I am excited about the upcoming racing we got going on in a couple weeks. I really had fun with you guys. Sorry I was late. I was doing the tire smoking, preparing for the crap gapping. And I guess we'll see you guys in 2 weeks, right?
I'm fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine too. We'll all be fine. Have a good one.
Shake it back!